Hey guys, my name is Carly Banks. I am the owner of The Habit, and I am a yoga health coach, which is it's an interesting description for something that has really nothing to do with yoga, but more to do with yoga's sister science, Ayurveda, which for some who may not know what Ayurveda is, I'll give you a little breakdown. Ayurveda is almost 7,000 years old. It is the science of how our minds, bodies, and emotions function. It's how our bodies align with the natural rhythms of the day. It's very much about the circadian rhythms and keeping in tune with natural rhythms of the day. So when I say that, what I mean is think about every animal on the planet. Every animal is either nocturnal or diurnal. If you're nocturnal, they sleep during the day and they're up at night. Diurnal creatures sleep at night and are up during the day. And human beings, we are diurnal, all of us, every single one of us. And in the most natural state, like imagine if you were camping in the woods. You would fall into a sleep-wake cycle that goes with the rhythms of the day. You would fall asleep not too long after sunset, and you would wake up just before the sunrise. Now, the way our culture is and the way our society is, we've created so many blocks to this happening. We are unable to achieve that deep rest that we so need, because the human body is going through all these cleansing, restorative processes that happen at night between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Your liver is cleansing, your cells are restoring and regenerating. So if you're up at 11 p.m. watching TV and eating a bag of chips, guess what? That process is not happening for you. So we're creating all of these blocks with the way that our culture is to achieving this deep restorative rest. All this gunky buildup, you get this gunky buildup in your system and in your emotions and in your mind and in your body. That feeling of brain fog every day, that's from not having adequate rest. That feeling of waking up like you have a hangover, that's from inadequate rest and inadequate ability for your body to restore. If you have like depression or overwhelm or anxiety, these are all symptoms of ama, which is this buildup of gunk, of undigested matter, and this lack of restorative processes happening in our bodies. So Ayurveda teaches us how to cleanse ourselves of this ama and how to restore our agni, which is your digestive fire, which is the good stuff, which helps you achieve that nice restful state at night and helps you clear your mind and cleanse your body properly and have clarity and balance in your emotions. So that's what I want to teach you guys. I have a few tips that I'm going to share with you today. I have like a million tips. I'm going to share a few with you today in regard to the quality of your sleep and how you can improve it. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start by telling you guys a little bit of my story, because I'm super awesome now, but definitely was not always this way. So I want to tell you a bit of where I'm coming from before I tell you how I got where I am and how you can join me in this place of being awesome. I'm a mom. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. And after the birth of my son, my beautiful son, my circumstance just felt absolutely horrible to me. I was so overwhelmed, so exhausted. My older daughter, she was about to turn 4 when Hayden was born, and she just needed a lot of attention and deserved a lot of attention. She was such a wonderful kid, but I had nothing to give to her. I had nothing to give to my husband. I had nothing to give to myself because the baby just took everything from me. I just could not wait for the end of the day when the kids would finally go to bed so that I could have some time to myself. And like, I just felt like this prisoner in my life. I felt like everything that I had to do was such a massive task. And when I think back to it now, I mean, I can see why there's this thing called mom guilt, like why we feel so horrible because we're constantly exhausted and overwhelmed and feeling like we can't wait for our adorable, sweet children to fall asleep so that we can have like a few minutes to ourselves. But you know, what I learned is I wasn't really doing myself any favors. I wasn't doing anything for myself or claiming my me time in a way that mattered and in a way that like nourished me. So I was just wasting time, and then the time that I was having with my kids was not quality. I was completely depressed, completely overwhelmed, full of anxiety. Hayden was 3 months old. I was like ready to quit breastfeeding so that I could start taking antidepressants. And, you know, my mom supported me in that decision. Everybody supported me if I was going to make that decision, because that's something that people do, you know. But again, with the mom guilt came in, and I felt like that just couldn't be the way. I had to find something else. And so that was the first step in this major shift that I've made in my life. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I did in regard to my sleep that really wielded some immediate results. And because oh my gosh, sleep is the most important thing in the world. Being well rested is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. Once I regained the quality of my sleep, and don't get me wrong, by the time I went through all these changes, my son was still waking up 3-4 times every night. But by the end, it didn't matter what he was doing, because I was well rested. I was taking care of myself. I was putting on my oxygen mask first. And so now, when he wakes up at night, I'm in his room, I'm holding him, I'm rocking him in his rocking chair with a smile on my face, and I'm saying, I'm so thankful that I have this opportunity, because it only happens once. Our little ones are only little ones for a very short time. And so you want to hold them, and you want to have this giant smile on your face, and you want to experience so much gratitude for this beautiful gift that you've been given of motherhood. So that's it. It's enough talking. I'm going to go into the steps that will give you immediate results, I guarantee it, in terms of getting you a good night's sleep. Okay, here's step 1. Rest, don't digest. When I say that, I mean that, as I mentioned earlier, our bodies at night are going through these restorative, cleansing, detoxifying processes. So if we're eating really late at night, then our bodies instead are given the task of digesting at night. So it makes things a little bit hard in terms of the restoration process. And when you think about it, our digestive systems are kind of on a north-south axis, right? In the mouth, down through your digestive system, out the anus. So when you're thinking about digesting, if you're eating a bunch of food and then going like horizontal for the night, how is your body supposed to perform the task? It's very, very taxing on your system to try to digest things while you're laying down, let alone at a time of day when your body's supposed to be doing something different. So that is the task for you. Tip number 1, rest, don't digest. So what you want to try to do is finish your dinner by 6 p.m. And if you're the type of person that eats at 8 p.m. right now, that's cool. You can take it one step at a time. I would say try to dial back your dinner by 15 minutes each day. The idea is that you want to finish your final meal at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed for the night, and try to move your body a little bit after dinner. I'm not talking about going for a run. I'm not talking about doing a high intensity interval training. I'm talking about maybe having a dance party with your kids, going for a walk around the block, doing the dishes, tidying up, little minimal things like that. Move your body, help jumpstart your digestion before you go sedentary for the night. This will help you to have this restorative sleep. Going to sleep with an empty stomach allows your body to properly function, allows your body to properly cleanse and restore and detoxify, so that you wake up without this like bogged down hungover feeling. I promise you, if you try this 3 days in a row, you will feel different when you wake up in the morning. You will feel lighter. You will feel less brain fog. You will feel more energized throughout your day because you've had an opportunity to cleanse. Okay, here's tip number 2, and it should not surprise you that this would be on my list because you've probably read it a million times. Turn off your technology. When we look at screens, the screens on our television, our computer, our tablets, our phones, our iPads, our laptops, blah, 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 all these screens, all this technology emits a blue light that actually decreases the production of our melatonin. And the melatonin is the hormone that allows us to fall asleep and to stay asleep. So not only will this lack of melatonin keep you from falling asleep or have you feeling insomnia type feelings through the night, but also if you happen to wake up in the middle of the night or multiple times a night, especially if you're breastfeeding or something, it stops you from being able to fall asleep again. So it's like a double whammy of terrible. And there's so many other reasons why looking at a screen before bedtime is no good for you. Like, we're not paying attention to our body's signals that say we're tired. I remember my kids would go to sleep at 7:30 or whatever, 8 o'clock at night, and I'd be like, oh, thank God, I can't wait to lay down and watch TV, I'm so tired. What the, like, that doesn't even make sense. I said, I'm tired. So why do I want to watch TV? Why don't I just want to go to bed? We're disobeying the signals that our bodies are giving us. And so, you know, and there's so many reasons why we do it. Scrolling on Facebook, just looking at one more post. Watching Netflix, just watching one more episode because what's happening is so epic. You know, like reading emails or seeing a post on a forum or something that gives you like an emotional response or something that you need to respond to, and before you know it, you're like having this nasty conversation in your head and you just can't stop thinking and you're making all these lists. Oh my God, put it down. If you want to check out before bedtime, pick up a paper book. Remember paper books? They don't harm you. They're wonderful. You can create these stories in your head. Sometimes, you know, that might even get your head going, but it's far less terrible for you than the blue screen of death. Put down the blue screen of death. So what you want to do is at least an hour, but ideally 2 hours before you go to bed, you want to be away from the screen. Give your body a time to produce the sweet melatonin and those natural tired feelings. And just choose something different to do in the evenings. Baths, card games with your husband or spouse or friends, chats on the phone, games with the kids, going for a walk, give yourself a massage. Like, I have so many. That's just a few. Have some herbal tea, do some painting, coloring books, all good. Many things that we can do instead of watching TV, scrolling on our phones, things that don't serve you, things that aren't going to make you feel better in this life. Try that out. Okay, tip number 3 is this. Listen to your body's signals. Like I was just saying in tip 2, we're getting into our society, our culture tends to disobey our body's signals by just pushing through till we get a second wind, or by watching one more episode, or holding our eyes open so we can watch TV, or doing things that really don't serve us. If you're like me, which I'm guessing that you are, you feel a wave of fatigue around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and sometimes even earlier than that. Like sometimes I'll feel it at like 7:30, like the kids have just gone to bed, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. And like the tendency is to push those feelings away because we haven't had any time to ourselves. But imagine a world where you just said, oh, I'm tired. Like, I did a good job today. I worked hard today. Today was great. And now it's the end of the day and I get to go to sleep and I get to have a relaxing sleep, or I'm going to have some relaxing time. And then I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to get a good resty rest. That feels pretty good. When you tap into that and you listen to your body's signals and you don't wait for that second wind, you just go to bed. Oh my gosh, like it seems so silly. It seems so common sense, but it's so true. Like just try it out. You will not regret it. Listen to your body's signals. When you feel tired, you gotta like go to bed. Okay, here's tip 4. This is the final tip. No talking dirty, ladies. And by that I mean no mudslinging. It is so easy to get into an argument in the evening because we don't see our spouses all day. And then we get home, they get home, we're tired, the kids are tired, everybody's cranky. It's all like this stressful time where we're trying to get everybody into bed, and then the kids go to bed, and then the snipping starts. And you start talking about your budget or who spent what on what fast food today or whatever. It's so easy to get in an argument with your spouse in the evening, and that is another thing that just robs us of a good night's sleep. If you need to have a discussion about your emotions or about your budget or about any like big responsibilities, I highly, highly, highly recommend scheduling time during the day or on the weekends to have these kinds of conversations. Don't save it for the end of the day when everybody's tired. The chances of having a blowout and having a misunderstanding or a miscommunication and then leaving you feeling depleted or sad or emotionally upset while trying to fall asleep are much, much higher if you're getting into these things in the evening. So just take this time in the evening. This is called the kapha time in Ayurveda. This is the sweet, connective time. After dinner, you're supposed to have love and loving conversations and feel connected. And if you take this time, me and my husband have little mini dates now. We put away our technology and we sit for half an hour and play a card game or just chat and treat each other like best friends, like we did when we met, and it's amazing. It has changed our lives. So I totally recommend try not to argue at night. I know that's when the emotions are built up, but if you can just take a deep breath, decide that you're going to talk about it later, or keep in mind that you're going to bring it up on the weekend or whatever, it will do you a favor and you'll be able to get a good night's sleep. So those are 4 things that you can try today to improve your sleep immediately. Doesn't matter what your baby's doing. You can sleep train them too. Like I mentioned, by the time I went through the changes that I've made through learning about Ayurveda, I was totally able to have a more than restful night's sleep. So happy to spend time with my children. Every day has felt like a gift to me ever since I made these shifts. And it doesn't matter how often my kids wake up in the night because I'm taking care of myself. So that's it for today's tips. I have so many more. I have so many ways to show you how you can live a life that you absolutely love every day, how you can wake up feeling energized and full of vitality every day, and I would love to share all of it with you. So if you are interested, please come to my website, connect with me, look me up on Facebook, keep following my blogs, come to another workshop. There's so many ways that we can connect. I love this time in our lives.
fabulous. I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for listening to us here at The Habit. Again, my name is Carly Banks, and I hope you get a good night's sleep tonight. Okay.